Thanks for coming back to part 2 of this week's Y-TiSTiCS episode. Let's pick up where we left off with Miss Aurora.
Tell me how
Oh
the
no,
testing
not at all.
process works.
Okay, this testing process it divides into um two processes, to say it that well. So and the first one is your civics test, which this little guy right here comes along. So you study first about the principles of American democracy, which is how the Constitution came to be,
Pay
the
attention,
13
folks.
original colonies. Yeah.
The 13 original colonies. I love this part. Look,
Yeah,
first of all, if you actually know the 13 original colonies, go
I
ahead and
do.
hit the like button. If you're like me and could pass 11 to 13, hit the subscribe.
Right. Yeah.
But all right, so you have to know the 13 original colonies. Most Americans do not
Yes.
know the 13 original colonies, but you do, and you're
Yes.
required to.
Yeah, I do.
What else do we have to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so you need to know the basics of how the American Constitution came to be. You have to know about how, the independence happened, from Great Britain and why. So, like, one of the basic phrases that I learned was, uh, no, like, taxation without representation. And then a lot of questions pop in my mind, like, then what
Because you
happened?
were being taxed,
Mm-hmm.
and no one was representing you.
So I was like, okay. But, you also have to, know those things. And American history, they teach you about all the wars that the U.S. was involved in. And then you go through what it's called integrated civics, which is geography, like which state is, where, and the symbols. So, like, that's where the 13 original colonies came along, because it's like one of the questions is, why is the American flag, why does it have, the 50 stars and 13 stripes? And that's the answer, 50 because of the 50 states and 13 because of the 13 original colonies. And then they ask you, which ones are these? Which it was fun, to learn all these things. And then the other part of the test, all this is oral. This isn't like filling up documenting things. There is a person who asks you, right in front of me, which it can be intimidating.
All this is oral.
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
that's
this
important.
isn't.
And I think you said when
Yes.
we talked uh, before that your
Uh-huh.
test starts as soon as you walk in the room, because they
It
say
does.
hello,
Mm-hmm.
and that's as soon as they say hello, because it's an oral test, everything you do is being evaluated and looked at, and
Mm-hmm.
graded. So
Yeah.
that's really when the tests begin.
Yes, that's where it begins, because another part of the test, which I think is not another, I think is within, is the
Okay.
English test. So you have to prove that you speak English. And that is part of how everything starts. You arrive and they say, hello, how are you doing today? Was it hard to come in today? How is the traffic? All those things. So it is part of knowing that you understand English and you can give an answer, a concrete answer that, your English is understandable, blah, blah, blah. And then the other part is reading. They give you a paragraph or several paragraphs. I think they gave me like 2 or 3 to read. So you have to read it out loud. And then is writing. And then I remember when I did it, they have this iPad right in front of me. So the officer would tell me, what did he wanted me to write down, and they give you like this pad, like a pen, and then you write down in there, and they ask you also about who is your representative, in the House of Representatives, your senators. I had to know that, because like if I was living in California or in Ohio, I would have to know who my representative is, from the Ohio, you know, state. But because I'm still living in Oklahoma, I had to know the name of my representative, the name of my governor, all those little details, who Nancy Pelosi is, all those things.
Yes, because that's very important to becoming an American citizen. If you think you could pass this test, hit the like button. If you want to see all the answers to it, hit subscribe. No, you won't see the answers, but hit subscribe anyway. I'm telling you, I really don't think I could pass this test, and I think most Americans probably couldn't pass this test. And I don't know
That's
how
funny.
you
And
feel
that's
about that. I'm
funny.
not going to make you answer that question.
Hmm.
But I would like to see Americans pass this test, and it has been brought up in political circles before,
Hmm.
but I know that's kind of part of the political agenda.
Yeah.
So you finally take the test, you pass the test,
I
and
did.
so now you're an American citizen. You've taken the test, you walk out the door, they hand you a certificate and a cigar and shake your
No.
hand and
No.
and a Budweiser, and they make
God,
you
I
turn in your
hope.
Corona at the door, and now you get your Budweiser card. This is how it happens?
Right. No, not at all.
Okay.
So now that you passed this test, then to give you a date for your official ceremony, and they call it naturalization ceremony.
Hmm.
And they could be in different places. They could be in a public school. They could be at court. Uh, areas. It could be in
Almost like when you go to vote, they have different areas that you can vote in a
mhm,
school, you can vote at a voting
yeah,
center. It's kind of like this thing can be
yes,
other places officially as well. Okay.
yeah. So that was another part of the process, because you also need to wait, because they decide when to give you your you know your certificate. I was going to receive my certificate of naturalization on that specific date, but you don't know when or where that's going to be, what time, nothing. So you have to wait for that. You have to wait on your mailbox, for several weeks. Sometimes it's months. And then when you receive, your letter, it's still, sometimes a month, 2 or 3, away from your current date. So that was exciting. I have to tell you, I was always checking on my mailbox to know when that was going to happen. And then during that
It's like Public Service
ceremony,
Clearinghouse. Did I win?
um,
Am I going to win? How many magazine
right,
subscriptions do I have to order
right,
to get this certificate? Because I'll do it. I don't care. I just want.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. So that was exciting, when the date finally came in. It's a very neat ceremony. You have to pledge the allegiance to the country. You
Mhm.
have to renounce your previous citizenship. You can only swear allegiance to the U.S.
So we're
Uh,
back to the you have to denounce the loyalty of your country. So you're not allowed to like
mhm.
the food of your homeland. You now must like Taco Bell. You have to drink American domestic beers. Crafts are fine now, but no more
Right.
Coronas or Dos
No more
Equis. You're
Corona.
not allowed to do
Don't
that.
take it.
If
No,
should you
no.
have a Corona, you must put a lime in it to designate the fact that you follow American tradition now. No, this
Right.
is just amazing, and I think it's something again that most people don't know. I certainly had no clue. I mean, we hear about green cards. I didn't know the limits of it. Um,
Mhm.
I didn't really probably understand the difference between a green card and citizenship. I certainly didn't understand how many definitions of permanent there were in this country. Um,
Right.
but they really kind of and some from to play devil's advocate would argue they make you earn it.
Mhm.
And like you said, you have to prove that you love your husband, you also have to prove that you want to be in this country. So we're going to make it a tedious process. Um, and if you're
Yeah.
willing to go through all the steps, we'll give you a chance. But even once you
Mhm.
go through all the steps, we're going to make you wait on the
Mhm.
certificate. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, all I can really say is congratulations on completing
Thank
that.
you.
Congratulations on denouncing your country and everything, your childhood and everything you knew growing up just to live here. Um, it's just that step seems a bit far to me as well as
It
the
is.
test.
But I
Um,
mean, it's part of the process. I was telling my husband once, I was like, oh, I'm an American citizen now. And then, we went through all that process, of having my passport and all that, which is also kind of fun. And then, when it came home and I was opening it and everything, and my American passport says country of origin, and it says Mexico.
we want to make
So,
sure that easy there,
mhm.
sister. Like we know where you came from. Like don't get carried away because
Yeah. So
even though
you
you're a
are,
U.S. citizen now, we want you to know that we know. We're
yeah, we
oh
know
boy,
that.
yeah, wow,
Yeah.
um,
So that was
amazing.
fun.
That's yeah. I'll tell you what's fun is having this conversation with you because you do take it
Oh,
well, and I'm
thank you.
sure it's easier to take obviously now that it's over. Um,
Yes.
I
Yes.
can't imagine
Absolutely.
the stress and stuff that you had to go through.
Right now I'm like easy breezy, I can talk about it, all you want, but oh my God,
Right.
I cannot tell you how stressful it is. It was very, very stressful. I remember, and you can talk to my husband about it, how many nights I was having nightmares of having to leave this country because it is different when you are in a relationship I don't want to say a normal relationship, because I'm living in a normal
Mhm.
relationship, but let's say a relationship where
There's
where
no such
you're,
thing.
yeah, where a marriage is not being tested by the government. When it is being tested by the or an external, subject of like telling you you do qualify to remain in this marriage or you don't qualify to remain in this marriage is very stressful. It's like somebody else has the steering wheel of your life, and it's
Sure.
very stressful, very sad. It's almost like you can do everything right, follow all these steps, fill up all these forms, and still you have the fear of something happening because they don't like you. I don't know, all these thoughts, that they come and go. And then you're like, maybe I get too nervous. Maybe I said something that I shouldn't said. And then the officer doesn't like me. And then all, whoop, throw into the garbage.
Yeah.
So it was very, very stressful, so now that it's over, I'm very happy and, I'm at peace. I cannot tell you, how much peace it gave me, that day that I had, everything set up, my passport,
Yeah. Tell me
all,
about that moment. So,
yeah.
uh, the certificate finally comes in the mail. I mean, I'm sure the neighbors are like the crazy Spanish lady's jumping and she's screaming in the streets. Like I don't know what's going
Oh,
on. I
we
can't
did a
understand her.
party.
I don't know what
Oh,
she's saying, but she's
wait.
happy.
Yes, we threw a party, Chris. Like, oh my gosh,
Oh,
yes,
I
like,
imagine. No, that's got to
yes,
be like, yeah, the
yes.
the rager of all ragers. Like we're
Oh,
like
yes.
this is better than my quinceañera. This is the big party.
And that's the funny thing. I did not have a quinceañera.
You
So
guys
that's
do
what
that. You guys
we
do that in Mexico though. Yes, I mean
we
that's not just an American adaptation that we've picked up
it's
just to
like
have a
this.
party for.
No, I mean it is like the sweet scheme, I think
Mhm.
some girls have. We do it at the age of 15, but it has to do mainly and mostly because of a Catholic tradition.
Okay, I've actually
So
been to one. I didn't know what I was really, you know, doing, and
getting into
I was obviously older, so I wasn't really paying attention to the quinceanera itself because it was little girls. I was there because I was invited by adults, and again, it's
right.
Booing's a reason to drink, right? So that's actually, it's one of the big things. I follow this couple on TikTok, and they're always talking about their Mexican traditions because he's Mexican and she's white. She's giving him a hard time because we got to stop to the store and get beer. She's like, it's a 1-year-old birthday party. He's like, I know, but I have to get beer. She's like, why would you need beer for a 1 year? Because that's what we do.
Yeah.
She's like, we don't even have a gift. We don't need a gift. We need beer. If I show up without beer, we can show up without a gift. I can't show up without beer, you know.
Yes.
But I mean, it's true. I mean, I've had a lot of Spanish friends from different countries and stuff like that, and that is always like a big thing, especially with my Mexican friends. Like, you bring beer. It doesn't matter what it's for. You bring something for the cooler. And
yes, absolutely. So I mean, in my family, like I was telling you, we weren't that traditional, and that's why I didn't have a quinceañera. You know, for me, it was just I didn't have the option. You know, like my grandparents talked to me, and they said, "You want, this? You want to wear that poofy dress, long dress?" And I was like, "No, not really." So it wasn't
like a shot, but other than that.
I mean, it was, for me, it was a waste of money. It's a throwing a big party, and it's not gonna last for a night. So I chose to travel. I always love to travel, through social media. Then me and my husband love to travel. So
you guys travel all the time.
So
which is great. I think that's amazing.
It is amazing.
So all right, so here we go. So now you're in America. Let's talk about some differences. So you didn't do your quinceañera, which is do they have we had a show called My Sweet 16 where they showed a bunch of little privileged 16-year-olds have these giant parties for 16. And quinceañera is kind of the same thing. Did they have My Sweet Quinceañera in Mexico? Did they show that? Is that a show?
It's not a show, but
it's not a show. Well, it should
I don't think it's a show, but I think it is inspired, by the Sweet 16. The quinceañera gets inspired now by the Sweet 16. Okay. So
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Rate on a scale of on a comparison scale of 1 to 10. Rate Taco Bell for me.
Oh my gosh.
Do we love Taco Bell or?
I like it.
It's just garbage to you.
I like it.
Are you gonna?
I do, but
you have to say that because you're an American citizen.
That's part of it. No,
are you free to answer?
No, the thing is, so the thing is that I'm a very open-minded person when it comes, to food. I would try mostly anything, but I like Taco Bell. But if you're asking me to compare, the authentic, cuisine of Mexico.
I see where you're going, and this is my next question. So, what's actually supposed to go in a taco? Or you guys actually don't even have tacos, so that doesn't count. What's actually supposed to go in a burrito? In a burrito? What is actually supposed to go in a burrito?
Okay, in a burrito, it's not supposed to be as big as it is in America. I always call it American size. When they put that big thing into a plate, I'm like, how many people are gonna eat this? Is this just for me? Just for a start, And we have, very super basic things to put in a burrito.
They should have brought in a burrito and asked you how many people are supposed to eat this for your test. And
right.
10 people would probably fail. So that'd be a bad idea. You
but we don't put that many things. Right.
Okay, but I'm sorry. What goes in a burrito again? Go ahead.
In a burrito, you're basically just gonna put one type of. You don't put the sour cream and the rice and the beans and the lettuce and. I feel like you put everything that should be, in a plate, in a complete, you just put it inside of a big tortilla, which is ginormous. I've never seen that big of a tortillas until I moved in here or I was visiting. So it's just a basic small little thing, and if it's beans, you just put the beans, and if you want the cheese with it, you put the cheese. but that's it.
Yeah.
You don't
And it's
do
a
that many
small
things.
tortilla. It's just, it's a small tortilla. And you guys use corn tortillas. You guys don't really use the flour tortillas. Is that right?
We do in the north. In
In
the
the
north
north, you
part,
use the flour.
yes. We do.
So we've got a little American influence. People down south are like, "What are you
Yes.
doing?" Okay, I got it.
Uh-huh. Yes.
So I know this. I've had Mexican friends, and they made an authentic Mexican meal for us of burritos after church one day, um,
Uh-huh.
and it had hamburger and onions, and that was it. And they're like, "But," and it was amazing. It was delicious. But
Simplicity.
we're looking at it like, and they're like, "Don't worry, for our American friends, we have the lettuce and the cheese and all that kind of stuff over
Hey, you
here."
see what I told you?
You know, yeah. So this is why I asked the question, because I know that depending on where you come from, yeah,
Mm,
you guys do not put all the silliness in there that we do. That said, do
yes.
you like all the silliness that we put in there? Is that still acceptable? It's not like home, but is it still delicious, or is it just too much?
Sometimes it's too much. I'll still eat it, like I said, I'm pretty open when it comes to trying different types of food. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna finish it, but I'll try.
Okay. What is your favorite word that Americans try to say in Spanish that they just completely are way off on?
That's too easy. My name.
I can see it because now you're Aurora. You know,
Uh-huh.
we
Which
we
I'm
have taken the
okay.
beauty away from your name by saying you're Aurora. I Aurora, is that
Aurora.
correct? Or is that too much of a roll?
It's too much of a
Say it
rule.
again.
It's
Say it again.
Aurora.
Yeah, I can't do that. That's I'm not that skilled. I know that happens all the time. Things have the Spanish instructions on them as well. You know, they'll have American and Spanish. So I'll just have fun. I'll start
Right.
reading the Spanish, and she'll just look at me and shake her head. You know, she's like, "That is so not how you say that at all."
Michael does the same thing, and sometimes it's funny because I don't have I say this way, but the stereotype accent that some
Mhm.
people from Mexico has.
Well, we all
Most of
think
the
that you all
time,
talk like this, and we got everybody
yeah,
has this deep,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
yeah.
and I don't have it, and some
Like Speedy
people,
Gonzalez. We all think you talk like Speedy Gonzalez. That may be dated, because
yeah,
if you know who Speedy Gonzalez
yeah.
is, hit the like button. But yeah.
So yeah, so most of the people would be like giving me this, like through their eyes, this amazing compliment of like, you don't have the Mexican accent, and I'm like, well, thank you. I don't know if that's a good thing, a
I don't
bad
know how to
thing.
take that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's like, well, thank you. That means that probably you understand, what I'm saying. A lot of people, and this is something also that I think we talk about this, Chris, before. A lot of people don't know that I'm a psychologist, that I was a therapist, back in
Yeah.
Mexico, and
And
this
that
wasn't
is something else that it did not help you. You said you have a
no
bachelor's degree. You know,
in a master's.
again, most Americans, many Americans don't have a college degree. You had a master's
Yeah,
degree,
which is
and
what was
this
also
does not
very
help you get your
surprising.
citizenship.
No, and I mean it was very surprising for me, uh, because of two reasons. One, I didn't know that most Americans don't have a bachelor's degree, or I have a master's degree too, and that's even rare. It's like, oh, you have a master's? I'm like, yeah. Where I'm from, everybody tries to do at least something than going to college. But it's a given. If you are in school, everybody knows that you're in college. And
It,
it's a constant question, where are you gonna study? And that didn't help me at all. In the citizenship or the permanent resident card at all, they don't ask you those things. What did you
yeah,
study
I'll
or
get comments. I'll get comments for making this statement, but it really does speak to our society, the fact that because I know Europe is in the same way too. By the time you graduate what we would call high school, in Europe,
mm-hmm.
you've taken 5 languages there. And you just said yourself, there's probably not as much need to take 5 languages in Mexico, but like you said, you guys have still taken multiple languages, and here it's like an option. And like I said at the beginning of the interview, every time you go to another country, everybody speaks English, but as Americans, we don't even take the time or even try to speak the language for the country that we're going to. I think that says a lot. I'm not gonna again, I'm gonna get comments on it. That's fine. I love your comments. So please let me know what you think about that. But if you think that Americans are probably a little entitled, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. So you also sing. I'm gonna drop this last thing here.
You're gonna put me in the spot.
You are a singer. I am gonna put you on the spot. My understanding is you sing absolutely beautifully, is from what I've heard on a few Facebook things and what I'm told. When you sing, when you sing English stuff, do you sing it in Spanish or do you sing it in English?
Like I said, I've always enjoyed the beauty of the English language. Always. And I was very much related to, music, in American music. I remember my dad, to put me to sleep, he would sing Kiss. So I don't know if he put me to sleep, but he would always tell those stories, like putting the baby to sleep, or, he would sing Queen, Nirvana, Metallica, When I sing, it's, most of the time it is in English. I think it's also because for me, it's like out of respect. I want my husband to understand what I'm singing. If I am singing something in Spanish, I also, like you said, sometimes in my post, I put, what it means in Spanish and it means in English. So when I'm singing it in Spanish, I always try to put the lyrics, in English, so people would understand what I'm saying. But it's also mainly because I want my husband to be integrated of what I'm doing. And he tries to speak Spanish. He's not fluent, but I can tell you that
I'm sure he does better than me.
Well,
he does have kind of an accent too, so I would like to hear him.
I love it. I love it. I love when he tries to speak in Spanish. I talk to my dogs in Spanish. They're bilingual. I tell them.
That's awesome.
They understand, both languages, and sometimes I'm talking to my dogs, like I'm schooling them in Spanish. Michael tries to repeat, what I'm saying. It's hilarious. Like, I love it. I know that he doesn't know what he's saying, but I love it. I love it.
That's awesome.
Yes,
So you said your dad used to sing you Kiss in Spanish.
Yes.
Sing us some Kiss. Would you sing us some Kiss? Would you do that for us?
Oh my goodness, you are gonna put me on the spot, Chris.
You have no idea. I'm just starting.
All right. Well, he would sing, I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me, and I can't get enough of you, baby. Can you get enough of me? And
okay,
that.
Now Espanol.
In Spanish. Okay. Yes. One of the songs that my dad would sing. Okay, he would sing, Muñequita linda de cabellos de oro, de dientes de perlas, labios de rubí.
What does that mean? What did you just sing to us?
Okay, so it's a very old song. It's about a parent who is singing to her beautiful child, and it's called Muñequita Linda, which is my beautiful doll. And is describing how beautiful she is and how much, he loves her for just who she is. And that's, something that I always carry in my heart, because my dad, and I'm not praising him because he's not here anymore, but I know, wherever he is, he always loved me just as I am. He didn't want to add any off, things for me. He was my biggest fan, and especially with my singing. Oh my gosh, like for my dad, I would be, I don't know, Beyonce or Lady Gaga, he was awesome. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's how every dad should be.
Yes.
One of your favorite bands is 30 Seconds to Mars. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. Yes, it
Sing
is.
me a song in Spanish from 30 Seconds to Mars.
In Spanish. Holy mother.
Yeah.
Chris, you put him in a little bit of a pickle here. Okay. So, well, one of my favorite songs is Do or Die. So it'll be like,
Okay.
so it'll be like, Tiempo de vivir o morir. Tiempo de vivir o morir.
I can say it. I can't sing it yet.
I know. Nunca. It's just, it doesn't rhyme, So.
That's what happens. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll make it easy. The next one's easy. Anything from Shakira. Anything at all. You guys grow up learning Shakira, right? I mean,
We
like
do.
Shakira's on Sesame. Yes. Okay. Anything
Yes.
from Shakira. Go ahead.
From Shakira, and although she's from Colombia, but we did, grew up, listening to Shakira. She was super popular. Okay, so she used to sing a song that is called "Estoy aquí," which means "Here I am." So it was "Estoy aquí queriéndote, ahogándome entre fotos y cuadros, recuerdos y recuerdos que no puedo comprender." So it would be really fun to sing it because you have to sing it super fast.
Yeah, and that is one thing. Like you see the novellas and stuff like that, and it's like you might know something. The Americans walk around think they know Spanish, and then you watch Spanish television, and you're like, I have no. I mean, anyway, it's so fast.
It is fast.
Selena. Anything by Selena? Do you have anything by Selena?
Selena. I was in elementary school when she passed. But yes. Yo tenía una esperanza en el fondo de mi alma. Un día te quedarás tú conmigo. Yo guardaba una ilusión que alimentaba el corazón. Mi corazón que hoy tiene que verte como solo amigo.
Wow. Yes.
Thank you, Chris.
Mike should make you sing everything. You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't talk. You should just sing everything. Last one. Do you know the song "I Like Big Butts" by Sir Mix-a-Lot?
Of course I do.
How would you say "I like big butts and I cannot lie" in Spanish?
Oh my God, you're gonna make me curse.
That's cursing? You have to curse to say
Well,
what?
you don't.
In Spanish? What kind of language is this?
You don't stop there. That's another difference between, at least within me, in my head. If I say a bad word in English, I'm okay. I'm a curser. I'm a sailor talker when I speak it in English, but I cannot say those words in Spanish. I don't know why.
Is it culo? Is that how you would say butt? Right? Okay, but that is the bad version. See, I can say culo on Facebook or on YouTube because it's another language, so I can get away with this. But you cannot because your passport says Mexico.
Right, so I wouldn't say, culo, I would say trasero. So it'll be like, me gustan los traseros grandes y no lo puedo negar. Something like that.
Say it one more time.
So I would say, los traseros grandes y no lo puedo negar. And I can't believe I just said that.
You heard it. You heard it here, folks. She likes big butts. She cannot lie.
I cannot lie.
We really appreciate you stopping by today.
Thank
taking
you.
some time, having some fun with us. Thank you for singing for us.
Oh yes, thank you
I'm
so
sorry.
much.
Sorry for putting you on the spot. Thanks for coming by, everyone. Thanks for stopping at Y-TiSTiCS. As always, Y-TiSTiCS, why not? We'll see you guys next time.
I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Don't forget, new ones drop every week. Head over to the YouTube channel to see clips. Go ahead and like and subscribe as many of those videos as you can. And if you ever want to be on the show, just email me at ytisticks@gmail.com. Y-TiSTiCS, hey, why not?